On the evening of March 1st, 1932, the world stood still. Charles Lindbergh Jr., the 20-month-old son of famed aviator Charles Lindbergh and Anne Morrow Lindbergh, vanished. The boy's empty crib and a ransom note were the only clues left behind in the quiet New Jersey nursery. The nation was gripped by fear and uncertainty. This was no ordinary kidnapping. This was the Lindbergh baby. The kidnapping dominated headlines and sparked a nationwide manhunt. The public and the press followed every twist and turn of the investigation. The authorities faced immense pressure to find the kidnapper and bring little Charles home safe. The case, in its tragic magnitude, became a symbol of the vulnerability of innocence in a rapidly changing world. The Lindbergh kidnapping was not just a family tragedy. It was a crime that exposed the limitations of law enforcement at the time. It highlighted the need for more sophisticated investigative techniques, particularly in the field of forensic science. The search for little Charles would forever alter the landscape of criminal investigation. The Lindbergh kidnapping occurred during a pivotal period for forensic science. While still in its infancy, the field was beginning to gain recognition as a vital tool in criminal investigations. Fingerprinting was becoming increasingly common, and forensic pathology was emerging as a distinct discipline. However, many forensic techniques that are commonplace today were unheard of in 1932. Despite the limitations of the time, investigators in the Lindbergh case employed every forensic tool at their disposal. Fingerprinting was used to examine the ransom note and the ladder found at the crime scene. Handwriting analysis was brought in to try to identify the kidnapper from the ransom note. Police hoped that even these rudimentary techniques might offer a lead in the desperate search for the missing child. The investigation also relied heavily on eyewitness accounts and circumstantial evidence. Neighbors were questioned about suspicious individuals seen near the Lindbergh home in the days leading up to the kidnapping. The ransom note itself, with its peculiar wording and grammatical errors, became a focal point of the investigation. Every possible clue, no matter how small, was meticulously documented and analyzed. The Lindbergh kidnapping case presented investigators with a perplexing puzzle. The crime scene, though seemingly undisturbed, yielded few clues. The kidnapper had left behind the makeshift ladder, but vanished without a trace. The ransom note, while providing a glimmer of hope, offered more questions than answers. The ladder itself became a key piece of evidence. Crafted crudely from readily available materials, it pointed towards a perpetrator familiar with basic carpentry but lacking professional skill. Analysis of the wood used suggested a local origin, possibly narrowing down the search area. Each nail, each joint was meticulously examined, hoping it held the secret to the kidnapper's identity. The ransom note, filled with misspellings and grammatical errors, was both a plea for money and a taunting riddle. Handwriting experts of the day labored tirelessly, attempting to decipher any hidden clues within the kidnapper's penmanship. The note, while providing a frustratingly small amount of usable evidence, became a haunting reminder of the little boy's disappearance. Despite the efforts of law enforcement and the public, the Lindbergh case remained unsolved for over 2 years. The investigation was plagued by challenges, many stemming from the limitations of forensic science at the time. The lack of sophisticated DNA testing, for example, meant that investigators had to rely on less precise methods of identification. This reliance on less advanced techniques opened the door for doubt and speculation. Adding to the complexity of the case was the media frenzy surrounding it. Every theory, every potential suspect was splashed across newspapers nationwide. The intense public scrutiny placed immense pressure on investigators, potentially leading to missteps and oversights. The line between legitimate forensic investigation and public speculation became increasingly blurred. Controversy swirled around the handling of the ransom money. When a suspect finally emerged, much of the evidence against him was circumstantial. The case, once a symbol of national unity, became a cautionary tale about the limitations of forensic science and the importance of due process.